Batch create content? Who has time for that? I'll tell you, you do. Hey there, I'm Abby Herman with Right Solutions, and there is so much talk about batching. What does that even mean? When you batch create content, you create mass amounts of content in one short period of time. For example, you record all of your videos for the entire month on the same day. You sit down and write all of your blog posts for the week or for the month within a couple of day period. It is one of the ways that you can really maximize the time in your business so that you can get back to doing what you really love to do, working with your clients, creating your products, whatever it happens to be. Batch creating content is what has freed up my time to do even more work inside of my business so I can continue to bring you the information that you want and that I love to deliver. So today we're going to talk about my 5-step process to batch creating content that you can take and implement in your business. And I have one little extra tip at the end, so be sure to watch the whole way through. So the first step in batch creating your content is to have a strategy. You need to know what you're creating content about for the period of time that you're going to batch for. So for example, I like to batch create a month at a time, and so I create themes for every month. It makes it really easy for me to come up with ideas, and it also makes it a lot easier for me to sit down and get into my zone, okay, my writing zone or my creation zone, so I can create a whole bunch of content about just one big idea. Using themes is also a great way to create content around an upcoming launch or an awareness campaign around a certain service or product that you have. It helps to direct your audience members to where you want them to go, which eventually is going to be a sale at the end of the theme or at the end of this pre-launch period. As you are coming up with your strategy, know why you are creating the content that you're creating. So think about what it is that your audience needs to know before they make a purchase. What do you need to prepare them for as you are getting ready to launch something? This really helps with crafting the right content in the right place at the right time for the right people. And of course, with your strategy, you also need to have a call to action with every piece of content. Make sure you know with every piece of content that you create what you want your audience to do after consuming that content. So do you want them to go to another blog post? Do you want them to download something and give you your their email address in exchange for that? Think about what it is you want them to do within that piece of content. So again, the first step in batch creating content is to have a strategy. The second step to batch creating content is to schedule it in your calendar. So know exactly what you're going to do on certain days. For example, I will sit down and batch create all of my videos for a month or 6 weeks at a time on one day. So I have one day that I have to do my hair and makeup, one day that I have to dress nice, and one day that I will just sit and talk at the camera all day. I have another day that I create all of my blog posts, and another day that I sit and create the quotes and the social posts that go out with my content. Find different days that work in your calendar for different tasks. You might not be able to sit down and record all of your videos on one day, but doing multiple videos at one time will save you so much time and frustration in the long run, because if you've done videos, you know that there are certain things that you need to set up, your lighting, your outlines for your videos before you even get started. So the more you can do at one time, the better, the more time you'll save. So the second step in batch creating your content is to schedule a time in your calendar. Step 3 for batch creating your content is to actually create the content. It helps to have a process or a system that you go through for every type of content that you produce. For example, when you create videos, you need to have an outline or a script, you need to have your lighting set up, and then you sit down and create your videos. When you are writing a blog post, actually getting that content from your head to your fingertips onto your computer screen takes a process. You've done step one, so you already have your ideas and your topics. Sit down and outline each of your blog posts, then go back and fill in some of the gaps. Add in your content, do your research, and fill out your blog post. Having a system for each type of content that you produce helps to save time in the long run because you know what to do next. You know what the next step is. So step 3 in batch creating content is to make sure that you actually sit down and create your content. Step 4 is to review and edit your content. I have found that when I sit down and write my blog posts, I usually need to let them sit for a day or two before I finalize them and get them ready to publish. That helps me to get outside of my own head and to really take a look at the content from a fresh perspective. For me, that's just what makes more sense. If it makes sense for you to do step 4 at the same time that you create your content, go for it. When you are batch creating videos, it makes the most sense to edit your videos right away. So when you make time to actually film your videos, make sure you've also scheduled in some time to edit your videos. That keeps your video content fresh in your head, so when you're editing, there's not so much back and forth and it's a lot easier and faster to get it all done. Step 5 is schedule it. There is no point in creating content if it's just going to sit on your computer. You have to get it out there for the world and for your audience. Make sure that you have a system for scheduling your content. So my system for scheduling my blog content is that I get it all prepped and I write the social posts that go with each blog post and I send them to my virtual assistant who creates my graphics and loads my content for me. For my videos, I add my thumbnail and create the graphics for my social shares, get my video loaded to YouTube, and then schedule it in my social media scheduler. Now, one of the things that I didn't talk about was your email content. When you're creating your blog posts and your videos and any other content that you're creating, you should also be writing your emails, your nurturing emails for your audience. When you batch create and get these all done at the same time, you're already in that frame of mind with your theme and the topic of your content for the week, so it's easier to write that email that you're sending. To review, the 5 steps of batch creating your content are to start with a strategy or plan, put it on your calendar so that you know exactly when you're going to create which pieces of content, actually create that content, review and edit it, and then schedule it. Now, the bonus tip that I mentioned at the beginning of the video is a really important one, so I want you to listen carefully. Don't try for perfection. Done is better than perfect every day of the week. If you obsess about your content being perfect, it will never get done. Trust me, I know from experience. This video that I created today is by no means perfect, and that's okay. The most important thing is that I gave you valuable information that you can use today in your business. If I waited for it to be perfect, if I waited for my dog to not move around on the floor next to me, then I would never get it done, honestly. So don't go for perfection. Go for the content and the value of your content that you're providing to your audience. So if you found this information valuable, please give me a thumbs up on my video and subscribe to the channel so that you are notified every time I have a new video go live. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.